So hi, Look Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Casey from Virginity.
There are some questions to say about the upcoming album, Bad Jazz. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
I think I feel pretty good. Yeah, I feel great. I feel like the people that like the band are stoked that it's coming out and are happy with the singles, and seeing a couple new people jump in here. So it's going great. I have zero expectations for that.
Fair enough. Well, you checked out the record this morning. It fucking rocks. I really enjoyed this one.
Fuck yeah.
Yo, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Of course.
I'm pretty happy with it. I'm real excited. I'm like chomping at the bit for it to just be out, so we can not move on, but just be like, all right, there it is. I feel like we've been working on it forever, because we have.
Yeah. When did this process kind of start for you guys?
In 2021, at the very end of 2021, probably.
Damn.
Is when I started probably writing songs, and then probably very early 2022 is like the first time we got together as a group and like started working through it. So that's how long we've been at it, and we tracked it in June of 2023.
Oh wow.
So you've been sitting on the finished songs for a while as well.
Yeah.
Goddamn. And it'll finally be out 4 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Give
That's
or take.
right. June 28th. Very exciting.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Big day. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
So the title Bad Jazz, we kicked around a million titles. And we had some that we liked and we thought maybe we're gonna be the ones. And then one day it cracked. Have you guys seen the movie That Thing You Do?
I'm not.
No.
Okay. Well, first of all, we should both rectify that's the greatest film of all time.
Gotcha.
It's amazing. It's about a band in the 60s, a fake band, and it's great. Anyways, there's a part in the movie where the main character, who's the drummer of the band, asks a guy that works at a hotel, because he's into jazz. He's like, hey, where can I hear some good jazz? And the guy goes, oh, you want good jazz? And that's just a thing that, like, in our group of friends, like, we all love That Thing You Do. And we've seen it a million times. And somebody says, oh, you want whatever, people will be like, oh, you want good jazz? And we were practicing, somebody fucked up some kind of way, and somebody said, oh, you want bad jazz?
Nice.
And we all looked at each other and we were like, bad jazz. Great. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's how we came up with the title. In listening to our last episode, like I just did, I realized that every decision we ever make is made in 4 seconds at the time something happens. We never think about a single fucking thing, is what I'm learning about myself.
Listen, sometimes that, when you're in the moment, that's when the art happens. You think about it too much, you start overthinking it. You're not overthinking things. Maybe you are. I'm not sure. We haven't gotten too deep into this yet, but
well, let's get deep right now, because I found a way to connect that 4 seconds of making a dumb joke and saying bad jazz to a deeper concept in this album, which is that our writing process for this one was very different than it has been for any of the other ones, because mostly I would like write most of the song and bring it to the band, and of course everybody would add their things, but I would like really figure it out. This time I would do something more like a sketch. Like, I'd have a very shitty acoustic demo with maybe some words, and in some cases maybe not even words. Maybe I'm just like scatting a melody, and that's what I brought to them.
Okay.
And then so in that way, this album was a lot more collaborative. There's a lot less me. I'm still gonna get the ball kicked off every time, but like, there's the guys are really in here, like, featured in a way bigger way, which I like, because they're all great musicians. Why,
Yeah.
And we're a band. Like, I'm not trying to be some dictating guy. So and in that way, I make the connection, because we were doing a lot of improvisation as we wrote the songs, we would just play like one song for like 4 or 5 hours at a clip, some of them just over and over and over again, just changing little things, trying different things until we all would be like, that's it, that's the thing, you know, and move on to the next part or whatever.
Gotcha.
And jazz is all about improvisation. So bingo, bango, bongo, bad jazz.
There you go.
Look at that.
And was it, you know, writing in this style where it's like more so just a skeleton and then you're bringing it and you guys are really fleshing it out together? Was this a conscious decision going into this record, or was it something that kind of just came organically when it came time to start writing for this?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it was a little bit conscious, because I really wanted, we got a little more collaborative on Pop Mortem. And I really liked everything that came out of that. And so I sort of consciously wasn't finishing things and, you know, just being like, we'll figure it out together. We'll figure it out in the room. So for me, it was conscious. For them, they were just like, what, you know, I brought them stuff like in various states of completion. They were like, all right, I guess we're doing the work now.
Yeah.
And we'd just like to go back to the second half of the last question. Was there any meaning behind the cover art?
Oh, the cover art. No. It's so we met this guy Justin that did the art for us, and he's like a great graphic artist. He works for many very big bands and stuff, and he just kind of liked the band. I think his wife liked the band maybe more than him.
Aww.
And so we just started talking just as people, and then we started looking for an artist or stuff. And I can't remember if I just asked or if he presented the idea, but he was like, I'd like to work on some stuff. And I was just like, man, this guy's done shit for like Rolling Stone. So this will be cool. And I was like, we really don't have a concept. And he came up with the little strips. Him and his wife make notebooks out of old vinyls they find at like thrift shops and stuff. And so all the strips on the cover of our record, and it's all throughout the art and stuff, are the waste product of those records.
That's fucking sick.
It's badass. Yeah, damn.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And it looked cool. We were like, yo, that's sick. That looks like a record, right?
Yeah. So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Which one took the longest to write? Let me go through my little head here. I would say it's probably the second track on the record, called Some Hard Feelings. Yeah, we beat ourselves up to get through that one. That song definitely had like the most sessions of being like, let's work on this one for a little while. And I would say that like we did that up to the day of recording. We tracked this live, which is another big change for the record. We did all the bass tracks. Of course, you know, I sang later. We added some guitars here and there. We were like, we need some more balls on this. Make it epic.
Yeah.
But just the bass tracking we did in the room together all at the same time. So we were changing things in every song, but probably especially that one, like right up until we were like, all right, that's the take.
You're just like,
damn,
that's it. What about that song had you guys like beating yourselves over the head? More sessions spent on that, up down to the wire. What about that song?
What about it made it that song?
Yeah, what about it and like made you guys
difficult.
Made it difficult, made you guys want to keep coming back to it?
I don't know. It's a really hard thing to put my finger on, except for to say that we all had a sense it wasn't done. Like that sounds like wishy-washy, like mystic bullshit, or something. But like that is ultimately it. Is just like we all decided when a song was done, and we would all have a general sense that like, all right, this one's done. And yeah, we hadn't gotten there with it.
Gotcha. Makes sense. And your personal favorite off the album?
Personal favorite off the album. That's a tough one. I'm gonna I have to pick two.
Okay.
Okay.
And they're both singles. Which is Midweekend,
Mhm.
and the other one is a song that came out yesterday called Any Good Thing.
Nice.
Nice.
Solid picks.
Thank you. Such a weird thing to pick a favorite song you wrote.
In a cheesy, corny way, it's like picking a favorite child, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, like I myself have children. Do I have a favorite? Of course I do. No. Yeah, so Midweekend is just like, man, that song, like when I brought it in as the acoustic sketch or whatever, I was like, this is a fun little ditty. And then we spent like 3 hours on it, and I was just like, this song is so fucking fun. It just sounds like a party, man, to me.
Yeah.
Like, I like it. And then Any Good Thing is just like a pretty classic, straight down the middle 90s sounding pop rock song. That's what I want it to sound like, and I feel like that's what it came out sounding like. So to me, that one is like, I'm just like, we shot, and I feel like bullseye for me.
That's
Yeah.
good. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm right. So how did the track list for this album come about? Did you write the opener to be the opener, closer be the closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
Yeah, we shuffled a lot.
Gotcha.
We knew what the opener was, and we knew what the closer was. And everything else we deliberated about forever.
Mm.
I think that ultimately came down to like the night we had to deliver it for it to go to vinyl. Like,
Oh,
we're
shit.
like, we have to make a decision. I feel like we made it the night before. We swapped something one last time. We also could not settle on titles of songs, because part of what the sketch process did is that I would just name shit whatever I thought in that moment when I was, hastily playing an acoustic guitar,
Mhm.
on top of my washer and dryer or something. Like, I would just be like, what's the song about? I'd be like, this song's about me being a jerk, and I would just be like, jerk. But like, no intention of actually calling the song that, but that's what we called him for a long time. And then we were like, should we stick with those? Should
Mhm.
we actually try and come up with titles? Yeah, that was the most annoying part of making this record.
God
Was
damn.
figuring out the order of these songs and what they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where was your headspace at while you were writing this album?
I was in a pretty good place, I think, for the
That's
most
good.
part. You know, I deal with like pretty heavy, bad thought stuff, and that stuff's kind of ever present, but I feel like I've been better at coping with it in the last couple of years. And yeah, I don't remember, like, I feel like the songs are still, I don't know, they're still touchy feely sad boy songs, but I feel like there's a little less deep darkness to it these days.
Mhm.
I feel like it's a little more lighthearted, and just a more breadth of subject than just like, I'm sad, because that is most of what we put out. And of course there's still some of that, but then I branched off. I talked about, whatever, how it sucks having a job. I made up like Any Good Thing is like a made up nothing little story. I went on so long there, I can't remember what the question was.
It was Headspace,
Headspace.
but you opened
Headspace, yes.
you opened
I
saying
opened
that
by being
you were feeling
yes,
better than previous records, so
yes,
I'm
but
happy to hear that.
I did.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yes, I was going to also add to that now that I remember. Yeah, I just want to say that I had a lot more fun making this record
Oh.
than any other record. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like we really, and it's because we all did it. The first one is basically just me writing by myself. The second one, we're separated via COVID.
Mhm.
And so now we were all in the room together, in what kind of feels like for the first time, which
Yeah.
I guess it really was.
Mhm.
And yeah, we just had like such a blast. And I hope that comes through on the record. Like, no matter what song that you're listening to, I feel like they all kind of sound fun, because we were having a lot of fun making.
Yeah,
That makes me
even
so
if
happy.
even if the subject matter of the songs is still on the sad side, listening through the record is a fun experience because the instrumentals and the songs themselves are fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. So, how do you recommend your fans listen to the album for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Should they work out to it? What do you personally recommend?
Man, that's such a good question.
Thank you.
Um, um, I don't know. I don't know that I have a great answer for that great question. Um, yeah, however they best experience music is how I want them to hear it for the first time. I just heard it on vinyl for the first time
Yeah.
because we got test presses and stuff,
Mhm.
and yeah, it sounds great.
That's good.
Sounded really good. It's like when we had it mastered and stuff, and they give you like streaming masters and vinyl masters, and like I'm all like when you listen to them through like just your phone, you're like it's imperceptible what the difference is. But then when I heard it on vinyl, I was like, yo, damn.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I suggest vinyl
There you
if you
go.
if you got the coin.
All
If
right.
not, throw in there's your earbuds, baby. It sounds great.
All right. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
hell yeah.
So this question should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less.
Bad jazz good.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll take it. Hell yeah. So is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this album to invoke in your listeners?
No, if it evokes an emotion at all, job well done. Great.
So just anything, just whatever comes to them is how they should feel.
Yeah, and ultimately that'll be what happens anyways. It's
Yeah.
that people perceive songs all kinds of ways, despite on how I meant it. So
Yeah, fair enough.
Makes sense.
So can you talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
in the studio, we were generally doing 10 takes of every song.
God damn.
On a couple, we had to do more.
Damn.
But I would just say that like that at times was frustrating, but also at times it led to something cool in the moment. And also it just made us better because like we recorded it and then we all parted ways for a bit. And then we came back together and we started to relearn these songs. Like they were coming to us so much quicker because we'd done it. So we'd done so many reps already.
Mm-hmm.
The decision to track live, how did that, like, why was that the decision going into this record?
Most of this record, like 7 of the songs that are on the record probably were mostly put together in one weekend.
Okay.
And in that weekend, that Beatles documentary came on Disney Plus. And so I don't know if you guys watch that or not, or if you give a shit about the Beatles. Some people love them, some people hate them. We like them. We would have that on in the background, and they were tracking that album live. And like, there's just all this back scene footage of them playing together, and there's parts where they just suck shit. And we're just like, we were all just, because the Beatles are presented to you no matter who you are on a pedestal. And it really humanized them for us. We kept being like, they're just dudes. Look at them. And that became like our mantra for the record. Really, there was a world where this record could have been called Just Dudes. Because we would just be like, it's just dudes. And so the point of that whole thing is they were trying to track a record live, which is not something they had done in a very long time. And we were like, we're going to track our shit live. Again, a decision made in 2 seconds that we didn't have to hold ourselves to, but did.
Gotcha. So it was the Beatles documentary that ultimately gave you guys the push. Something you're going to do in the future, or do you prefer doing it, the other way?
Great question. So there are some other songs that we had written during these sessions that aren't on the record that we wound up tracking the traditional way because we found that doing them live we just weren't getting what we were after.
Yeah.
And so I feel like ultimately it's going to come down to an amalgam of that. Is like, if we can get it in the room, let's get it in the room. But if it's not, happening in the way that we need it to for posterity, then we'll track it that way. So all that said, that we also have half an EP in the can.
All right.
That'll be
Just Dudes EP.
Just Dudes EP. That's a great. You get 10% now. Damn.
Fuck yeah!
Oh, the hasty decision was made.
So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
So I'm getting some kind of soda water.
Damn right.
Whatever I'm stuck with in a gas station scenario. Oh, most of them suck ass, and it's going to be liquid death. And I'm going to be like, fine. I'm going to get some Cool Ranch Doritos. Depending on how hungry I am, I might go for a hot dog. And I'm getting Sour Patch Kid lemonade flavor ones.
Okay, you brought it back with the Sour Patch Kids. You lost me with a hot dog, but you brought me back.
I love a hot dog.
I can't go into this right now. I can't fight this battle right now.
I understand.
So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Man, was it like a food dish?
Yeah.
We'd be a bowl of ramen.
Oh.
Ramen is our band favorite food. Every time we're on tour or in a city or whatever, like ramen is what we're eating for most meals, as long as we can find a place that has it and has, isn't like a total, has like 1 star or something. We're not going there.
Yeah.
But we'll be so bougie about ramen.
Hell yeah.
Should be. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So for these last couple of questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Great. So if you could be one animal for the rest of your life, which animal would you be and why?
Dog. Because dog, best animal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, does it get better than a dog's life if you have like a decent owner? I don't think so. Looks like it rocks. That's it.
Yeah, I agree.
Goddamn right.
So if you could have lunch with any celebrity or artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
You know what? I might take shit for this, but I would get together with the writer-director Kevin Smith, who is alive.
All right.
Okay.
I love Kevin Smith movies. I don't know, but I'm of the age to for that. I don't even know. Do you guys know who Kevin Smith is?
I do not.
Do you know who Jay and Silent Bob are? Do those names ring a bell at all? That's amazing. It's amazing. You should know. Oh. God bless you. Anyways, he's a guy that wrote and directed a bunch of movies in the 90s that I really like. And he's been like just a huge inspiration to me as just a dude that kind of doesn't give a fuck what anybody thinks about him, which I like. And then also just like a get out there and do it guy. His first movie, which is his most famous, it's called Clerks, is a movie that he made by himself. He had no experience whatsoever, and he just like maxed out some credit cards and made it for like $20,000 or something, and it gave him a whole fucking career. Yeah,
impressive.
I like his get out and do itness.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. So for this last question, boom, you're on a deserted island. You can bring one movie, one album, and one person. Who and what are you bringing?
I'm gonna bring my wife as a person. 100%. It'd be awesome if I didn't pick her. That Thing You Do, already mentioned, my favorite movie, the greatest movie of all time. One album, that is tough as hell there, isn't it? I'd probably bring the Super Drag album, Head Trip in Every Key.
Nice. All right. So as Gloria said, that's all the questions you have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Nothing besides what we've been talking about the whole time. Bad Jazz out 6/28. There's 3 singles out now. You can buy the record if you would like. Oh, one cool thing that we got to do for this record is that do you guys know the record store Rough Trade?
Mm-hmm.
They liked our record, and so they made their own pressing of it. There's only
Oh.
100 of them. They're only available in the stores or online.
Oh, shit.
So you can buy it in the store when it comes out in New York or in London, or you can order it on the internet. But I just think it's very, very cool.
That's fucking
And
awesome.
and the
fucking
vinyl,
awesome.
their vinyl looks very, very cool. So, but that's it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Now it's been Casey from Virginity, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.